they listened to us, we having listened to them, and having heard their views, their complaints and their concerns, and having itemized and particularized what they were concerned about, we responded by saying we will take action. And merely saying that to our people seemed to mean a lot to them. That government, right, say from the president's level to the premier's level, and also further down to councillors' level, we had heard what they were saying, and we were going to address their concerns and pay heed. So I think as a country we are in a good space. We're in a good space where, yes, where there are problems, we must allow our people to raise their concerns. But government must also listen to what our people are worried about. But the important thing for me in this new dawn and this new era is that where our people raise concerns, it could be either through voice or action, through protest, we must immediately respond and act and try to satisfy our people. We also took time to say it is possible that sometimes government may have its own financial shortcomings. We will communicate that to them clearly and directly so that they can walk the journey with us towards full implementation and fulfillment of their concerns. So the last 2 days were good days in the office amongst our people in the streets and the informal settlements where our people live. That was my office in the last 2 days, and it was a great opportunity to work with my colleagues, and working together with the Premier of Gauteng also helped a great deal because we could attend to problems immediately without any waste of time. So thank you very much for having been part of this journey, and thank you for walking around with us.
Mr. President, just one from you, Pilani, here from Eyewitness News.
Yes.
We had, of course, land.
Wait, Pilani. I think what we're going to do is that we'll have to open for 2 rounds of questions for the president. If the president,
yes, sure.
Let's just take 2 rounds of questions. There's a little bit of order here, and then you just introduce yourself and all of that, and then go on with your question. You can start.
All right, Pelani here from Eyewitness News. Mr. President, we've seen in Olifantsfontein a place that you have also visited. There's people taking land for themselves. What's the presidency's take on that?
Well, that's a clear sign of disorder, a clear sign of violating not only the law but other people's rights. And we've all agreed that South Africa is a country of rule of law. And all of us agree that we should not tolerate disorder and lawlessness of that type. However anybody wants to advance their interests and their rights, nobody has any right to invade land, to violate other people's rights. We should be a country where if you have concerns or complaints, you should raise them formally and they should be heeded and addressed. So all those who want to invade land, they will get to know that we will not allow that. We will respond to that by saying you cannot invade land, and our law enforcement agencies must immediately kick in, because if we do that, then we are allowing lawlessness. Then anybody can go and invade any space that they want to. We should be disciplined, we should do things in an orderly fashion, and should not allow disorder like that in South Africa at all, whatever the issues may well be that people want to raise.
No, thanks. Maybe what I'm going to do is that, President, let's take their questions and then you can answer them. Okay, you can go ahead.
President, from ENCA. Obviously, we know that the DA is responsible for this metro, and taking back the power is something quite important to the ANC. But with regards to the selfies that you're taking and the warm reception that you're receiving from the public, do you think this will translate to votes for the ANC in this metro?
Okay.
Can you come?
Mr. President, Namabolani, SABC Radio News. Just would like to know, there seems to be a budding romance between the ANC and the EFF's Julius Malema. Can you just maybe give us your comments? We saw this morning the DP, Didi Mabuza, as well as yesterday, Mama Wing was saying that they'd actually like him back. Are we going to see maybe some sort of romance happening in the future?
Okay, Budzwai. And then we take the last three hands.
The last one, so that I remember them all.
Okay.
I'm not writing.
Okay, Budzwai, you'll be the last one for this round.
Mr. President, we've seen that in KZN, for example, the election coordinators were killed yesterday after undertaking the work that all of you are doing at the moment. What's your point?
Well, with regard to our work here in Gauteng and here in Tshwane particularly, I think we had a wonderful reception. The people received us well, wherever we went, in the churches, in the streets, in the informal settlements, in the shopping areas, in the suburbs. People of all races, if you like, received us very warmly. They were very receptive. And as we walked around, we had an opportunity to chat with people. And of course, we are all politicians. We hope and are working to translate this warm feeling into votes. We are a political party, whilst we are a liberation movement. We want to translate this wonderful disposition that people are having towards us into votes. And of course, our target and our aim is to win Tshwane back, is to win all the metros back. And right now, we think they are within our grasp. In fact, they are in our palm. And all we need to do is to close our hand, and all the metros are back in the African National Congress's control. With regard to the EFF, of course, we have always been open to receiving back those who have left and formed new parties. That has always been our position. We received back a number of people who left and went to COPE. Others who left and went to the UDM are back with us. And of course, the EFF members, we would want to welcome them back. And in fact, I would be able to say we would love to have Julius Malema back in the ANC. He is still ANC, down deep in his heart. So we would like to have those who are in the EFF back in the ANC, because the ANC is their home. The ANC is the home of many political parties that splintered out of it, and we would like, obviously, to build unity amongst all our people. And the process of building unity amongst our people should also mean that we want to work with all political parties that have the same policy and ideological orientation, like the African National Congress. Now, the terrible events that have unfolded in KZN, where an election coordinator of the ANC was killed and two other innocent citizens were killed, is a terrible event that has really blotted the wonderful work that we were doing all during this weekend. The killings in KZN have to stop. They are totally unacceptable to our people as a whole, and we cannot for even 1 minute accept that people can be killed in such a cruel manner in a democratic country like ours. And I'm saying that those who are responsible must be sought after. We must hunt them down and find them, because we cannot accept this. And at the same time, we pass our condolences to the families of those people who were killed, and to our comrade who was the elections coordinator. These deaths are a real terrible event to us in the ANC, and they should not be allowed to carry on even for one more day.
No, thanks. President, We are going to have to close.
You can take one more round and then we'll be done.
We'll take
Sophie.
yourself, Sophie, and then we close it.
Mr. President, it's Rorisang here from the Citizen. You spoke about...
And then can, before you come, I'm also just, before the President answers, can I just allow, before I take questions, just to allow the chairperson of the ANC in Gauteng to also deal with what they've done on land division in the province. And then from there, we'll open for the last round of questions.
Yeah, maybe speak about it.
I just want to say that on Friday, it was brought to my attention as the Premier of the province that there was a group that was orchestrating land invasion in the Olivenhout area, which is the place that two different places where you were. The other one is just around R55, and the other area is right inside Olivenhout where we were this morning. Now, we have a very clear standpoint as a province that land invasion, and we're talking here about illegal land occupation, is not allowed. We work with municipalities. The metro police in each municipality has to be the first to respond when there's a land invasion. And this I say all the time publicly, that especially in the light of the process we are undertaking about land, we need every piece of land to be allocated properly to people. So on yesterday, we had a discussion with the MEC for Community Safety in the province, who is the coordinator of all these interventions on land invasion, working with the Metro Police units and the South African Police Service. And this morning again, I had a discussion with her after driving through the area. You would know that yesterday the police responded. The people who were trying to set up there, trying to cut pieces of land for themselves, ended up, the police drove them away. They went back this morning, and you would see that these are people who are traveling from somewhere else. They arrived there in lots of cars. So it's not people from Olivenhout who are homeless, who are landless. Those cars, the police have also been tracing where the cars are from. They arrive with lots of cars. They come from elsewhere. It is organized. It's well orchestrated. The police, again, this morning went back. They have deployed significantly. So every time there is an attempt to do this illegal land invasion, the police will respond. So the law enforcement agencies will respond in our province. And I say this, we do working with every municipality. Sometimes we are disappointed that municipalities, for political reasons, I know in some of the metros, because they are causing to those who want illegal land invasion, we press on them that they must make sure that it is stopped. But if a municipality doesn't do it, we come in from the province to stop it. So I want to just reaffirm what the President is saying. In Gauteng province, illegal land occupation is something that we will deal with decisively, because we want to allocate land to people. Many people have said to us, even at Olivenhout this morning, the reason I'm going back there, we are going to be discussing with them. There are people who don't want houses. They say they want a piece of land they want to build for themselves. But we can't allow. They were saying to me this morning when I met them, the group that was worried, that there are also people amongst there who are taking land parcels for themselves, and they are law-abiding. They are waiting for the government process. So we want to send a strong message that the government will intervene. Law enforcement agencies dealt with this issue yesterday. They dealt with it also today. And I will make sure in the course of the week, because that area is next to where I live. I drive past there. So every time I see there's some structures put up there, I will make sure that the police deal with that. And we have communicated it to all the parties in our legislature. They know my position on that.
Thanks, Chair. We're going to take the three hands. Yourself, Ma'am, Sis Sophie.
Mr. President, you mentioned police pleasing the people and satisfying the people. But some of the people are not happy with some of the members of cabinet that you've retained, like Gigaba and Mugoyan. Don't you think this will affect votes next year?
Okay, also.
Mr. President, across our borders, in Kenya in particular, you hosted as the ANC President Uhuru Kenyatta. We saw what transpired in Kenya on Friday, the two leaders meeting. What is the response from the South African government? I know you are the chair of SADC, not really AU, but relationship between South Africa and Kenya is quite good.
Okay, just the two, that's great. Well, clearly, whatever we do as leaders of government, we will never be able to please everyone. And that is the reality of life. So other people will be pleased when you do certain things, and others will not be pleased when you do certain things. And when we do things, we do them to advance the interests of our people as a whole. And I remain convinced that a number of the decisions that we have taken are meant to do precisely that. And obviously, as we do everything and take decisions, if we focus on meeting the aspirations of our people, advancing the interests of our people, that is the decision that we have taken from that time onwards. So for the rest, I think we should leave everything to unfold and see how things develop. We have constructed a cabinet of people that we believe will address the needs of our people, and we're moving forward with that. As regards what has happened in Kenya, we are delighted with what we saw happening in Kenya. We've always said that the best way to address and solve problems is for people to meet, and even people who are diametrically opposed on any issue, it is always pleasing to see people getting together. We were taught by the great icon of our country, Nelson Mandela, that you must be able and be willing to sit down with your enemy, because you cannot make peace with your friends. You make peace with your enemy. You make peace that you hold different views with, and only when you do so will you be able to resolve problems and challenges in order to move forward. So what happened between President Kenyatta and Raila Odinga is most pleasing, and we support it completely, and we hope that they are able to consolidate the solution of their problems and the peace that they have struck. And as chair of SADC, I could not be more pleased than to see how we Africans come up with African solutions to resolve problems that we may have amongst our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go home now.
Perhaps the key issue that emerged from that impromptu media briefing is the condemnation of the illegal land invasion in the name of the land expropriation without compensation, which the EFF, in collaboration with the ANC, mooted in Parliament. And that Gauteng Premier David Makura saying that that issue will be dealt with decisively by the party. Well, he was speaking alongside President Ramaphosa as he wrapped up the Independent Electoral Commission's voter registration drive, which wrapped up today. We have like 2 more hours to go before voter stations closed for voters to check their details.